Hi guys, in this video we will talk about type conversions and casting in C#. Sometimes in our program it is necessary to convert from one data type to another, such as from a double value to an int value. This kind of operation is known as type conversion, where we are converting from a double to an int. C# supports two types of conversions. First one is implicit conversions, and the second type is explicit conversions. So let us discuss the implicit conversions first. This type of conversion is performed automatically by the C# compiler. There is no data loss during the implicit conversion. An example of this will be if we say we have got an integer type number called int num, whose value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and we define another variable long num of type long, and if we assign this long num the int value, an implicit conversion takes place. What happens is the compiler automatically converts the value of the int num, which is of type int, to a long value before the assignment takes place. So this type of conversion is implicit. Here there is no data loss because a long value, which is a 64-bit integer, can store any value that an int, which is a 32-bit integer, can store. So there is no data loss. The next type of conversion is the explicit conversion. If a conversion cannot be made without a risk of losing information, the compiler requires that you perform an explicit conversion, which is called a cast. A cast is a way of explicitly informing the compiler that you intend to make the conversion and you are aware that there might be some data loss. To perform a cast, specify the type that you are casting to in a parenthesis in front of the value or the variable to be converted. So let us see an example how to perform that. So I have created a new console application and the name is type conversions. As usual, I will put the code download link in the description of the video. So if I specify a double type number here, say double, and I name the variable as say double num with a value anything, say 1122.7, and now if I define another value called int and name it as say int num. Now if I try to assign the int num the value of double num, so if I press enter here, you will see a red squiggly line and there is an error which says cannot implicitly convert type double to an int because there is a data loss in this case, because double cannot be stored into an integer number without losing the decimal part. We need to specifically tell the compiler that we are performing this conversion. The way we do this is type the keyword int in parentheses in front of the variable to be converted, and the error goes away. So now we are specifically telling the compiler that we want to convert this double number to an integer. So if I just print these values now on the console, so in the first line we are printing the value of double num, and then on the next line we are printing the value of int num. So one thing to note here that although we are casting the value of double to an integer, the value of double should remain same. What it means is the double num doesn't lose any data. It's the int variable which is assigned this double num value will lose the decimal part. So we will see that when we run this program. So let's quickly do that. So here is the output. So the double num, of course, it has its original value 1122.7, and the int num has got value 1122. So that means it has lost the decimal information, but double has still retained its value even after we have applied the casting on it. So let's take another example. Let's define an int variable sum whose value is say 60, and then have another int variable count whose value is say 80. In the first statement we have got sum of some items, and those items are 80, and the average should be sum divided by count. If I declare a double variable called average equal to sum divided by count, so that should ideally give us the average. So if I try to print the average value, let's see what happens. So if I run this program, and you will see the average given is 0, because in this calculation what we are doing is we are dividing an integer by an integer, so we are getting 0 value for the average. So in such cases what we can do is we can use cast again. So if I just cast this to a double and run the program, this time it should give us the correct average. See, average is now 0.75 because we cast the value of this expression in double, and it gives us the correct average. So these are the scenarios where casting will be useful. We will see more examples as we progress through the course. If you haven't done already, please do subscribe, share and like the video, because that really encourages me to create more. Thank you.